Plaintiff James Vaughn says when he was born, his mother was a crack addict, and he was born a crack baby. James claims he grew up in the foster care system and endured all sorts of abuse. But once he turned 18 and graduated school, he started his own business. James claims the defendant hired him to work on her home, but she never paid him for his services. Defendant Mathis Cunningham has nothing against James, but she says James started the work on her home before she authorized him to do so. And then James's girlfriend started threatening and harassing her. Although Mathis admits that James did the work on her home, she insists he's overcharging her.
All right, prove your case.
Okay, when I was born, my biological mother was a crack addict. I was born a crack baby. You know, she gave me away when I was a child. I was in 14 different foster homes. I've been through all forms of abuse. People constantly taking advantage of me, walking over me like mud, using me for their own game. As I got older and found the Lord.
Let me ask you so that other viewers will understand. When you say a crack baby, meaning your mother was addicted to crack.
Yes.
What type of effects you think that had on you?
I'm not 100% sure in certain areas, but I have a lot of fear with authoritative figures because people have been beating on me, threatening me, cussing me out, calling me all kinds of names throughout my whole entire life.
Did you ever feel you had any health or educational challenges?
Just a slight learning disability, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm told is the case with children who are born to drug-addicted parents, particularly heroin and cocaine, that the children have some learning developmental challenges. And then, unfortunately, the social circumstances, you say, involved abuse at these various, like people putting you down all the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very. You know,
how'd you handle it?
Well, you know, me knowing the consequences and knowing that, you know, if I do something wrong, you know, as far as trying to be vengeful towards someone else, I'd have to suffer the consequences. And I don't want those consequences to come back on me and bite me in the butt later. I don't want to have to suffer.
Sound like you have a lot more knowledge and common sense than most people.
I try.
So after you left foster care at, 18?
Yes.
What'd you do since then?
Well, I finished up school and graduated, of course. And I've been working for myself as far as the indoor-outdoor cleaning business. You know, I cut lawns, shovel snow, rake leaves, indoor cleaning as well as far as cleaning people's houses. I'm very good with my hands as far as doing hands-on material work.
Excellent.
It's not easy, but I do the best that I can.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, man. Proud of you. Now, before we get into the unpaid wages you're suing her for, where do you know the defendant from?
I met her through one of my flyers that I had passed out, and she called me, and she wanted some painting done, and she wanted some outdoor work done as well. So I went by her house after I spoke with her on the telephone, and looked at the job and looked at everything that needed to be done because she had absolutely no materials whatsoever. You know, I had to supply everything, any materials that was necessary for the job to get it done and get it completed. But
Tell me what the job was and the agreement on payment.
I had to trim all her bushes, do all the edging, pulling all the weeds along with spraying them, fertilizing the lawn. I did a lot of cutting trees as well. This job took 10 hours within 2 days.
How much were you to be paid?
$400 for the material and the labor. And I do have some of the receipts for
so that's
material.
Two different amounts of $400 or $400 to include both?
Everything, yes.
All right. Ma'am, let me hear from you.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I want to start by saying that I don't have anything against Mr. Vaughn. He seemed like a nice person when I initially met him. But I told him that my company went bankrupt, so I was laid off for like the first part of the year. And I think that was like the last week of April when I saw his flyer and called him and he came over. And I told him that I didn't want any work done because I wasn't gonna start working until May 3rd. So I needed him to postpone it and wait until later. So one day I came home from church and he was doing the work. He said he was gonna do it anyway. He called me and said, I'm just gonna come and start doing the work because I trust that you're gonna pay me. And this is without any written agreement. We didn't discuss any kind of amount or anything. I thought maybe a couple $100, maybe 3. You know, it was all he did was trim the bushes and cut the grass, and he did pull the weeds and use the pump it stuff, the fertilizer, which he told me cost $50 a bottle, but I checked into it and it's $15.99 at Home Depot all day. So I said, I'm not gonna pay it. First of all, the person who really started to harass me was this girlfriend of his, Sharmella, who is not here to support him, but she manipulated him into suing me because he's not that type of person. But anyway, a couple days later, I'm out jogging in my neighborhood and he pulls up with this irate woman, Sharmella, cursing me out and telling me that he's not.
Who did the cursing out?
She did. She cursed me out. And she said, what you think, you that cute? Were you gonna get all that yard work done for nothing? I said, yeah, I'm cute, but you must think I'm cute too. So I told her that it wasn't even about her, that I had an arrangement with Mr. Vaughn. And I would rather discuss it with him and deal with him because I don't know you.
Let me ask you, did you all ever agree on a price?
No, we never even talked. I said maybe how much. I asked him how much you think it would cost.
And what did he say?
He said, well, I don't know. I can't give you a price. I got to see how long it take me.
He never mentioned a number.
He never said a number up front. So I was confused. Then when
he said it at the end?
He said it when he came back with Sharmella.
And what did you say?
I said $400. That's what I said. I'm thinking I don't have that kind of money for lawn work. I could have made my son do it for free. You know?
$400 is a lot, sir. You say she told you she would pay you that amount?
Yes.
That was the agreement up front.
That was not
She told me everything that needed to be done, yes. You know, I let her know how much everything was, you know, so she knew, so it wasn't no surprises about how much stuff was.
He told me after the fact, Your Honor.
And I have receipts here to show for it.
He never showed me a receipt, but he told me, okay, the weed killer, the pump it up weed killer, he said I needed like 3 bottles. So I figured 3 times 15, that's $45. But he charged me $45 a piece for each of those spray bottles.
The bottles, are they disposable, sir?
Disposable.
Meaning you can only use it once?
Yes, the turf builder was just one time, and I had to buy certain other things such as clippers to do the yard, and I had to use it's a thing that you use to fertilize the grass with. Had to buy that as well for the job.
And the pumps, right? Or
yes. Do
you have all these on there?
Yes, the only thing that I'm missing is the one receipt because I had to go back to the store the next day and buy an additional bag of turf builder.
The problem I have, sir, I'll tell you what, I'll give you your judgment if you give her the materials, if you give her the things that you can still use.
The only thing that I have.
The clippers,
yeah, so I can fertilize my own yard.
And the fertilizer machine.
The only thing that I have.
You can't charge her for those items and then take the items with you.
Right.
If you're charging her the entire amount for the equipment, then the equipment is hers.
Right. Only thing he left at my house is the rest of the Roundup pump and spray. But I don't have any of his equipment. And when I saw his flyer, Your Honor, I hired him thinking he was a professional.
Your claim for emotional distress is for what, sir?
She was harassing my friend. My friend, you know, she's been in my life for 6 years, and she sees how people walk over me and take advantage of me. And Miss Mardisa, 2 days after I did the work, she told me that she would give me some money 2 days after I finished the job. And I was expecting her to call me and let me know something, but she did not call me back. I didn't hear anything for nearly a week. And I kept going over to the house trying to see where she was at, and she was nowhere to be found. Now, I'm thinking it was about 4 days into the week. My friend took me around to go collect money from my customers because I go around and
your young lady friend.
Yes.
So
I ran into her walking. You know, she was walking her dog, and my friend confronted her about it because I asked her to because, you know, people are always taking advantage of the fear thing because, you know, when people start talking and yelling at me and, you know, putting fear in me, I don't know what their intentions are. Well, she threatened my friend. She said to her that she had a gun in her house, that she could have some people to come over and beat us up, that she was going to have someone come over to her house. I have her written statement.
Whose written statement?
This is Miss Sharmella's written statement. Yes, she couldn't be here because she had to go to work.
She's going to say what you are saying.
She could not be here.
I know she's not going to say something different than what you're saying.
And the sad part about it, Your Honor, can I say something,
Yeah.
please? This lady is manipulating this young man because she's got to be close to 55. So she's not a young lady.
No,
First of all, she's too old to be messing around with you like that.
She has been helping me.
I'm just saying.
Protecting me from people
I mean,
like you.
You know what I'm saying?
From
I think
protecting
she's
me.
taking advantage of him and making him manipulate him into different situations. Now, when I talked to James, we never had any harsh words or nothing. It all came when that lady came over threatening me, telling me that I'm not cute, that cute, and all that.
She did not threaten you. She did not threaten you at all.
Yes, she did.
Confronted
She
you
said
by
she was
telling
gonna
you
sue me.
that you needed to pay me for the work that I did for you. That's all she told you.
No, she said she's going to sue my boss. I said, look, lady, when I get paid, I'm going to pay him, but this has nothing to do with
upset. You know, just the fact that she was involved. You know, because she's tired of people.
She shouldn't have been involved, sir. Unless you told her my business partner or my coworker is going to be calling on you to collect, or you established up front that you had a partner who was involved in your business, then she shouldn't have said anything to this woman at all. Period. She shouldn't have said a word to this woman. It's like Doyle's wife can't come here talking to me about what I do with Doyle. That's not how that goes. Now, Doyle tells me when he came in, he said, well, my wife is my manager, is my business manager, and she's my entertainment manager. Okay, then she can come talk to me.
Well, I have an issue.
Yes, sir.
You know what? The Lord put this lady in my life to help me understand things that I was not seeing. I could not see it because wasn't nobody teaching me anything that I needed to know. Okay.
I'm glad to hear that.
She's like pretty much like a mother to me, protecting me.
All right. What I want you to understand, however, is that you have to let your business clients know that I have someone who's working with me and they may be speaking to you. Otherwise, she can only advise you. She could advise you. She could say, just like you're doing today, take it to small claims court. So,
and Your Honor, I would feel bad because I feel like I owe him something, you know, because he did all that hard work and stuff. But $4,000 or $5,000 of dollars for yard work, that's out of my budget.
Well, sir,
you threatened to hurt us.
Sir, I am going to grant you your labor. And based on the receipts, you provided me with $250 worth of receipts. And you're suing her for a total of $400 in wages. So that is $150 in labor that you want. I'll grant you your $150 in labor. However, with the $250, I do not believe you purchased the equipment and gave it all to her. I'm going to give you $100 credit for the equipment that you say you left with her, all right? Your judgment today is $250, and the emotional distress between she and your girlfriend, or the lady who's a friend of yours, your mentor, let's call her that. She don't know what you all are doing behind closed doors. What you grinning about? I bet you got a young boy somewhere yourself.
No, I don't. I know I don't. I might need one.
So your judgment today is $250. Have a good day,
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to say that I'm sorry, James, that this got so out of hand. And I do feel that the judgment was fair. And I feel like he deserved to be paid for what he did. And I just don't see how it got this far out of hand.
When she called the police, or better yet, threatening us, you know, we called the police, had filled out a police report, and, you know, nothing was done about that. The harassment, you know, and the threats, I mean, fearing our lives as if something was going to happen.